Yeah, save your best stuff.
I don't give it away for free anymore.
No.
Now that we've gone Patreon, I'm saving all the good stuff for 5 minutes for dumping and chasing.
We get a lot of shots. Everybody come to the net. We just have to get more and more pucks to the net.
What were you saying about putting pucks on net?
Continue to put pucks on net.
Well, that's the key. We got to get the puck on net.
Pucks on net.
He's got that nick for the net too. He just throws puck on net.
It was nice to get pucks on net.
Pucks on net and driving and making a hard night on him.
Live on tape from Geeta's apartment, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor. This is Pucks on Net, a Vancouver hockey podcast. Doesn't talk about fantasy or fancy stats. We, I don't know. What do we talk about?
The Montreal Canadiens are going to run out of French-speaking coaches who used to coach for them that are still alive.
They just recycle. They swap back and forth. Michel Therrien will be back in the next 10 years.
Well, AV, they could bring AV back.
Oh, yeah.
But after that, then they're out. Because Therian's been brought back.
Yeah.
Julian's been brought back.
Right.
AV, but he just signed like a Babcock deal, didn't he, in New York?
Not quite a Babcock deal. It's more of a Julian deal, which the details of that came out, it's a lot of money.
Huh.
Claude Julien can buy, a decent...
He can buy property in Toronto.
He went right up to Mark Bergevin and went, bippity boppity, show me the zoppity.
Thanks for joining us, wherever you got us from. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at PucksNetCA or PucksNetCa. And make sure you're supporting the podcast, supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/pucksonnet. We'll explain what you can do at the end of the show, but I have to bite the bullet here. I screwed up.
Oh.
It was like I drafted Jakey. I made a mistake, and I got
mistakey.
Drafting a Jakey.
I drafted a Jakey last week.
You left Lars Eller on the table, bud.
I know, and one of the strict rules of our Patreon campaign is, we thank you on the air.
Oh.
And one slipped through the cracks, and I want to personally apologize to Heather Smart, who I think's out in the Toronto area, and she's donating $5, and she also reviewed us on iTunes, which if you don't want to give us money, that's the best way possible to support the show. So she reviewed us, and she gave us money, and I forgot to thank her last week.
Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Heather. That was very smart of you.
It was not smart of me. Also, Sean Christie pledged $5, and that's the other one. So that business is out of the way. Went to the Canucks game on Friday night.
Did you know?
No, Saturday night. You weren't there on Friday.
Saturday night.
No, Friday night you were with me.
That's right. We were recording the Ducks commentary, which is available now on Patreon, but that's another story.
You should donate. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I haven't gotten my voice so hoarse from heckling somebody since Ryan Kessler's return to Vancouver, but Brian Elliott really took the cake.
I looked at that goal like 5 times. Since.
Okay.
But did you hear my heckling?
No.
Oh, it was some great heckling.
No, there were some really loud people in the suite next to where we were, actually. Next to the press box, there was some very drunk construction staff party.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's my weekend with the kids, but I got the girlfriend looking after him. Anyway, yeah, things were very lowbrow at the 500 level. Anyway.
Langley in the house.
Yeah, man. I haven't been allowed in here since I got thrown in Rogers Arena jail back in 1999. Okay, well, Dan, this time behave yourself.
Hey, it was 2003, and we went past the jail and out the door.
That was also against Calgary, was it not?
St. Louis.
Okay. Anyway, I looked at the goal like 5 times. I don't really know what else he could have done differently. It wasn't the Kluche one. People keep comparing it to that. This thing dropped like 3 feet if you look at the replay. It was a R.A. Dickey New York Mets, not Blue Jays out of the park special. This thing was dancing. And it was kind of funny because, one of my responsibilities out there is to hit the big goal light button. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching Edler about to wind up, and I could see the puck. It wasn't on end, but it was doing this.
It was
It was
knuckle.
It was sputtering. Yeah, it all ties together. But yeah, I'm like, I got ready. I'm like, yeah, I could see that. And I'm like, I did that with my mind. I was like, amazing. But like right before he'd scored, I tweeted out that shots on goal were so 2000.
Oh my God, I know. Where we were sitting, I took
13 minutes.
13 minutes in.
And they win the game.
Where we were sitting was
welcome to Vancouver.
Yeah, we don't believe in shots. I just remember about 10 minutes in, I'm just like, get a shot on goal, please. eruption of laughter.
So it was a win-loss, I call that, because 2 points against Calgary makes a much bigger difference than 1 point.
Yeah.
So they really fucked that up.
Yeah, and now they go into this nonsensical bye week.
This is our bye week?
Yeah, this is where everybody goes to Mexico and gets really drunk.
Right, they're going to be shirtless on a boat.
The Sedins will quietly wait for the team to come back sipping coffee.
Well, I thought you were on the 7 o'clock.
So all they do is just sip
Well,
coffee.
they can't go back to Sweden because of that incident.
Yes. Stay strong. We considered throwing something together for the Jumbotron, have Eddie and the twins say something and Marky, but we decided against it. One thing the guys were doing right before the game was they were watching Beauty and the Beast, which I found was
it was on the CBC.
Where?
On the CBC.
Really?
I had to cruise through the room to do a graphics thing, and when I went through the lounge, all the boys were sitting on the leather couches in there.
Yeah, because they were probably like...
Tale as old as time.
They were probably about 8 to 10 or younger when that movie came out, too.
Beauty and the Beast came out in like 92.
Yeah.
Those boys were born in
they were 12.
Yeah.
The Sedins were 12.
Yeah, the Sedin, yeah.
Anyway, they were all...
We were like 8-ish.
Anyway, if you like that movie, then you got something in common with the boys, because I could have set off a smoke bomb in there. They wouldn't have turned away.
That's so cute.
What was the
And
weird...
they came out pretty flat, though, in the game.
What was the guy, the candle guy? What was his name? With
Lumiere?
the snooty guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably they were probably fixated on him. If you fall, I don't know. I got nothing.
Visors are for Europeans and French guys.
I wasn't going for a Don
All
Cherry
right, Don.
Vote
O'Leary, 2016.
If you watch when Chris Tanev scored the goal in overtime, my dad was turning to me and he goes, "I do not foresee them scoring another goal." Like he said it all dully, like we should just leave now.
But he's always wrong, so there you go.
But of course, all of a sudden, somehow Chris Tanev joins the rush, which was not a Willie. I don't.
He always scores in overtime against Calgary.
Yeah, right. All those.
He's done it before.
That's true. And like Tryamkin always scores road games against Calgary.
Okay.
But I made it in one of the Canucks official photography pics.
Right.
You can see me going like eyes.
Big dome, eh?
Big dome.
You can't miss him.
But speaking of one more thing from that game, I have a new favorite activity.
Oh.
And that's watching Nikita Tryamkin hop over the boards.
Right.
I don't know if you've noticed.
Like Undertaker style step over the top rope.
It's like a grasshopper unfolding.
He lifts his leg like he's a dog whizzing on a tree. It's like he just lifts it up and over he goes. Because I know we were down by the bench and I started noticing that like I'm like that doesn't because then you look at Troy Stetcher do it and he has to make like a running start and they got to pull him over but if you need to do something funny you need to have some fun. Watch Tryamkin.
Right.
Hop over the boards. It's fantastic to watch. The people around us thought we were idiots because we're like, here he comes, and just to hop over the boards. Like, what are you looking at? I'm like, he's stepping over it. What are you looking at, Dave?
I'm shaking my head at College Jeopardy, which is on the tube. America is getting dumber by the second because I don't think I'm that smart, and I've got like the last 6 things they've showed. Well, no, there's no context to this, but the last 6 questions they've asked, I've been able to answer in like no time flat. And I think that with the political situation going on over there, I think it's indicative of that this is the best and brightest that America has to offer.
Well, so we have an ongoing list curated by Pucks On It listener Anders Lau of players you're better than.
Who is Monet?
Is that right? We don't know.
It is.
Oh, now you're saying you're better than all of the cast of College Jeopardy.
I'm better at hockey.
We usually are.
Add it to the spreadsheet. I'm better at hockey than Alex Trebek.
That last answer was probably hypotenuse.
Geeta and I are racking it up on College Jeopardy right now.
Oh, we gotta do a sponsor read.
Do we? Oh yeah, I asked if I could read this in British. I don't think I can.
She says, "Can I do the ad in a British accent?" And it was probably the worst British accent I've ever heard. But you can take it away, Geeta.
I'm gonna do it in my Canadian accent.
Right on, eh?
So, with all of the options out there, why is it that so many people, including local sports pros, trust their eyes to image optometry?
No witnesses.
Well, it could be the online prices with bricks and mortar service.
One of these days, I'm going to ask Brad about bricks and mortar service because it seems very scary.
I think it's a front, maybe, but I shouldn't say that.
It could be the direct billing. However, what's indirect billing? Is that when I slip the bill to like Dave?
Yeah. I've indirectly billed you for these glasses.
You pay me and I pay them. I'm a middleman.
That's called money laundering.
Yeah.
So they don't offer money laundering, so that's good.
Yeah.
Got it. It's not a front. Because they are located in Abbotsford and Delta.
Well, those are they have many locations.
We're just a greenhouse. Just keep on walking.
Or it could be that they're the only ones to offer a doctor's eye exam and a complete select pair of glasses for just $89.95.
That's a pretty good deal.
It's better than $90, which is bullshit.
I need glasses to read this. An unbeatable deal that'll ensure you catch your next match in glorious HD.
Because we're watching the soccer. It's a match.
I mean, what else would you expect from the most affordable eye care chain in BC?
Nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best in bricks and mortar service.
Image Optometry, the official eye doctors of the Vancouver Canucks and Pucks on Net.
Yep.
Online at image.ca.
Or image.
Or imagine more for less.
Image.ca.
What did your mom say to you on the phone today?
No. My dad wanted to go out for dinner tonight, and my mom's like, no, she can't. Now that they're getting paid to podcast, she has to go do that.
We finally won over your mother. It took 4 years.
My parents are really supportive. They're just not allowed to listen.
But
Like most of our parents shouldn't.
But what I really want to do is Wayne's World for a living.
Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
Has no one ever really noticed that we're just pretty much living out the plot of that show?
Yeah, but we're not in a basement.
You know, but evil Rob Lowe's going to come and swindle it. Brad from Image Optometry is going to buy this show right up from under us.
Hey, I got a great idea. We're not a front.
I've been really, really upset with the NHL for the last couple of days.
What have they done to you?
I'm the only person left in Antoine Vermette's corner. Free Vermette.
He's adorable. I love his face.
He's a very handsome French-Canadian player.
Yeah,
he kind of looks
he
like...
played in Ottawa during Spezza's heyday.
He looks like the guy from Goon who stepped on the logo.
Oh, Xavier Laflamme?
He totally does.
Hey, we got to go see Goon 2 together when it comes out.
You got to tweet out a side-by-side of Antoine Vermette and Xavier Laflamme. It's the same guy.
Well, can we watch Goon 1 together first?
I'm sure we could. Have you not seen Goon 1?
I don't think so. Is it
What?
the one with...
Sean William Scott is the Goon.
Oh, yeah.
His Stifler shows that he can actually act.
Yeah.
It's all heart. No, I looked at this thing as well. I was just sitting there watching replays.
I watched it last night too.
And what they didn't show, and they did Kiprios did the whole thing on Sportsnet. Love
Okay.
Nick Kiprios. Can't say enough good things about him. So this Vermette's one of the best face-off men with both with two good eyes in the league.
Right.
He's Malhotra, but he can see.
Imagine if he went to Image Optometry, how good he'd be seeing those face-offs.
Manning should have gone there. Anyway, Warabizer. He's like 63% on draws usually. Like the guy's automatic. That's 2 out of 3 almost. Like he's 37% on the night. And it's essentially because this linesman has been f***ing with him all night.
Yeah, linesman by the name of Shandor Alfonso. Sounds like a heel wrestling manager.
So you're saying linesman Alfonso maybe needed a pair of glasses from Image Optometry?
Or he needed to work on his, timing.
Sounds like a front. Anyway. Hey, bubbity boobity. Hey. No, I watched. They showed like 10 or 11 different face-offs in the second and third period of that game.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was egregious. Like, it was egregious. I don't know whether this guy was having a bad night, the linesman, or whatever, but I understood Vermette's frustration. Should he have done what he did? Absolutely not.
Right.
Totally ridiculous and inexcusable. Suspendable? Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to, that's...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad.
10 games?
Well,
for that?
Oh, that's a significant
There was some...
suspension.
That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Think of all the extra
People
Ryan
have done
Kessler we're going to have to
Yeah,
watch.
people have done some horrible things and haven't gotten that.
But it's to protect the officials.
Oh.
This isn't going to be any kind of precedent that's going to be set that's going to cause people to go, oh, well, Vermette got 4 games instead of 10, so I'm going to go punch, Brad Lazarowicz in the face. Like, that's not how this is going to work. He tapped him on the pants to get his attention.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part. Okay.
He tapped him at the wrong time.
Yeah, like you don't do it. You talk to him in between the whistles.
There was I know exactly what he was doing because if you look at that one,
It was a hey.
it was what the hell was that? But there was a little too much on that little tap. It was a little bit more than a love
It was
tap.
a little stiff for your liking.
Yeah, and I mean,
Maybe he misjudged it.
I think it was a misjudgment. I
Okay.
think it's just caught in the
Yeah.
moment of like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
It was the heat of the moment.
I forget the rest of those lyrics.
Good
Telling me what.
It was the heat of
the
Vermette.
moment.
Telling me what my heart meant. The heat of the moment showed in your eyes.
slashing the linesman in the ass. Now, like
Now there is it's in the rule books because there was somebody a couple years ago that grabbed an official's arm. I can't remember who it was.
Yes.
And they got a mandatory 10 games.
Okay.
So you got to set a precedent because,
Yeah.
like I always talk about, I love watching NHL officials. They are running shit. They are the authority of that rink, and they're tearing apart Nikita Tryamkin's left, right, and center. So they have to be protected like that.
can I read this like Brendan Shanahan?
Is this Rule 40?
Rule 40, physical abuse of officials, and specifically Section 40.3, automatic suspension. I'm Brendan Shanahan, and I'm still really handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Any player who deliberately applies physical force to an official in any matter, excluding actions as set out by Category 1, which physical force is applied without intent to injure, or who spits on an official, shall be automatically suspended for not less than 10 games.
It's in there in black and white.
Looking at the replay, Vermette clearly hit that booty hard with his stick. Said, hey, girlfriend, you got to drop the puck fair.
And he did not like the term girlfriend, and that's where it all went to shit.
Most of the time when he puts a stick on someone's ass, they're usually into it. Antoine Vermette is not used to rejection with those Xavier Laflamme good looks.
One thing interesting is, Vermette has played 968 NHL games. He's never been suspended.
Yeah.
This is just like last week with Nyquist.
Again, we harp
Yeah.
on the Department of Player Safety and the discipline cronies in the NHL. Common sense has to rule the day. I say, if you want to be stiff with this, because you thought it was a little too much mustard on that,
Yeah.
5 games is fine. That makes a pretty big impact on their season, too, because he's a very useful
Right.
player to them.
Can you think of an instance where a referee was actually assaulted or like physically harmed, like you would see?
Yeah, there's tons of video on
in
YouTube.
the nonsense leagues, but
Yeah,
like in the
KHL.
NHL.
Within the NHL, Gino used to like really struggle with linesmen a lot. And I've seen it the other way. Actually, I've seen overzealous officials with players of breaking up fights.
I saw a video of a fight, like PK Subban being broken up in a fight, and like him accidentally punching a linesman in the face.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah, but like, shouldn't that be 10 games?
No, because it's not intentional.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Well, here's one. I just Googled referee assaulted NHL. NHL referee's career may be over after being viciously attacked by players.
Oh, Dennis Weidman.
Yeah.
Dennis Weidman. Yeah.
Well,
There you go.
That's the precedent. Well, when nobody knows what happened there.
No. Well, from what I've kind of got on a bit of a fact-finding mission talking to various people around the league who I will not mention on the podcast.
Making
Yeah.
a suspension.
He's an asshole. Apparently, apparently Dennis Weidman is a real piece of work off the
Okay.
ice.
Okay.
So take that for what it's worth. I don't know the man. I've never dealt with him. I do not like the way he plays. He's always the first guy in the scrum.
Is he still in the league?
Oh, he's still playing for Cal.
Oh.
He's a very good defenseman. He's an
Okay.
offensively gifted player.
After his big suspension
Yeah.
from knocking that referee over,
Right.
he was basically like, if he did anything on the ice
Yeah.
playing for Calgary, he was getting called. Like
Okay.
the referees made an example out of him hard.
I do think he was a little bit punch drunk when he did it.
I think so too. There's just
You'd have to be.
he's not even in a
They
blind.
said he was later diagnosed with a concussion.
Oh, that's right. We did a whole podcast about
But I
that.
think that
Oh,
maybe
yes.
he used it as an excuse. Anyway.
Speaking of other jerks, Brandon Manning. Dave, did you see this in the Canucks game on Sunday night?
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
Okay, so Manning, we talked about this almost a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Brandon Manning pushed Connor McDavid into the boards.
Yeah.
Accidentally on purpose. We all agreed that hey, if we were in Brandon Manning's shoes, I would rub out the star too. I'd try to hurt him.
I wouldn't try to hurt him.
I'd try to hit him.
I'd
Yeah.
play him physical.
Yeah. And so Then in November, I think it was, the Flyers played the Oilers in Philly, and McDavid spent the whole game chasing after him, basically coming out in the media later saying he tried to fight him, he wouldn't fight him, and then
it made me like Connor McDavid even more than I already do, and I do like him a lot. I like him more than I ever liked Sid, to be honest.
Well, Connor's a lot more likable guy.
He's not as doofusy.
Well, Sid goes places he shouldn't be going. Sid's in front of the net in the scrum.
Do you know what the difference?
Sid's with Dennis Weidman in the scrum.
Not to break away from the Brandon Manning thing, because I've got more thoughts on that. But you know what the difference between this year and last year for Connor is?
Well, he's got
an offensive line.
Yeah,
Lucic, Maroon, and Cassian.
He has doofuses that are going to go to war for him, and they did.
Yeah.
Because, he later said in November that Manning said, "I tried to hurt you."
Right.
And
that's messed up.
And it's, what, nobody knows. It's his word against, it's Connor McDavid's word versus.
Why would he make that up? There's no motivation for the lie.
It starts with that. He goes, why would he make it up? And then why on this game on Friday night in Edmonton, why did Patrick Maroon try to murder him in a fight? Why did Lucic give him the old cup test, which he's done many times in his career?
That's a classic Lucic.
Yeah, and no suspension there. Like, the Oilers want to kill him.
Right.
And it's like, unless Connor McDavid is a great captain and a general saying, this guy tried to kill me, you have to kill him and defend my honor. Like, I think that there's some truth to the rumor that this guy is a bit of an asshole.
Well, you can take the player out of the Chilliwack Bruins, but you can't take the Chilliwack Bruin out of the player.
We discussed this. He's a Chilliwack Bruin, and they were the shittiest shitbag franchise ever.
Yeah, just hitting people with corn stalks.
Why were they bred to do that?
They had I think they had like an inferiority complex because they were not quite Vancouver.
Yeah, not quite Kamloops.
Yeah, and they're like, well, plus
they're like the New York Mets. Hey, we're here too.
That's a very good comparison because all the Giants fans in the Valley would go to the Chilliwack barn, and like nobody liked the Chilliwack Bruins, not even people in Chilliwack.
It was like it's like when you're in like LA or something on vacation, or you're in Mexico, and people say they're from Vancouver, and they go, "Oh, where in Vancouver are you from?"
Abbotsford.
Yeah, you're like, no, you're not. Shut the f*** up.
I never said that. Listen. As the Abbotsford native on the podcast here, I've never said that in my life.
No, I met people from Chilliwack at an Anaheim Ducks game, and I'm like, "You're from Chilliwack. You're not from Vancouver."
Like, well, we figured you wouldn't know. You're like, come on, I know. Yeah, I know what's going on.
I have to dial.
You tell by your sneakers.
I have to dial an extra one to talk to anybody I know out there. It's 10 cents a minute, so I just cut them out of my life.
Yeah, that's what they cut the Chilliwack Bruins out of the WHL's life. They're like, we gotta wait. This is a long distance call. No,
is he the only NHL player they ever really had? There was another guy who never quite made it.
Wasn't
Ryan House or something like that.
There's that guy.
Sunder.
Yeah, nobody. I don't think anybody ever made it outside of Manning. Yeah.
So he'd be getting his jersey retired upside down.
Yeah, I want to talk about that later. It's on the rundown.
Okay.
I want to do that at the end of the show, but basically a Fort Wayne Comets player. They retired his number and they sent it to the rafters upside down.
Oh,
a very rare minor
league
team jersey retirement.
Yeah. We could talk about it right now.
Yeah, let's get it.
It's the only thing I wanted to bring this up.
That team's been around for a long time.
The Comets with a K.
Yes.
Yeah, the original Comets.
The
Comets.
His name is Colin Chaulk. He wore number 91. The guy is such a minor leaguer. He only played 17 games in the AHL.
Okay.
But like, I looked at his hockey DB because I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, who was he drafted by? Nobody drafted this guy. This guy was playing for the love of the game.
Where did he play his junior hockey?
He played in Italy A. Is that like Serie A?
Yeah, it's called no, they call it the same thing. Hey, you know who played in Serie A? It was Cliff Ronning during a contract dispute. Same with Yari Curry.
He played for the...
It's odd because for a long time I was like, why do people keep telling me they're like huge fans of soccer in Syria? Do you get it? Like that's what like Juventus plays in Syria.
They gotta, in Syrian soccer, you gotta dodge Scud missiles and slide checks.
Colin Chaulk, he was a Kingston Frontenac. He had a 96-point year, 97-98. He played for the Austin Ice Bats, the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks, the Jacksonville Lizard Kings, the Utah Grizzlies, the Adirondack Red Wings, the Missouri River Otters, the Kansas City Blades, the River Otters, the Blades, the Griffins, the Wheeling Nailers, the Colorado Cold Kings, the Fort Wayne Comets, year in Italy, more Comets, another year in Italy, more Comets. That guy played every shit. He probably has so many wacky Jersey night jerseys. That's all the rumpus room
He's
is.
Crash Davis.
He is Crash Davis, and so, and then top it off, his career ECHL, life, the jersey goes up.
Yeah.
It's upside down. So I just wanted to give a little positive vibes to Colin Chaulk that,
It's a little known fact that the guys in the ECHL, the top end guys in the ECHL, get paid almost as much as the AHL players. And a lot of guys who could play up in the A as free agents choose not to. They choose to be the big fish in the small pond.
Okay.
When my buddy Kyle played 4 years with the Colorado Eagles, there were a couple of guys on his team, he said, who would have been terrific AHL players, but just were comfortable making $100K with an agreeable owner who wanted to have a couple big stars. And
that makes sense. You live in a small town. You can afford to live.
His backup goalie, Kyle's backup goalie, had NHL experience. It was Dustin Penner's thuggish brother, Andrew. But he liked playing for the Colorado Eagles. So.
Yeah, I remember you saying that your buddy really liked playing for that team.
Yeah,
and he was
there for 4 years, which is rare.
Yeah.
4 years in 2 leagues because they moved from the Central League to the ECHL.
Okay. It sounds like the Fort Wayne Comets.
Kyle was an ECHL All-Star that year.
Oh, that's
good for Kyle.
It's still an accomplishment to have.
He also has a jersey retirement, minor league jersey retirement. The Brayhead clan in the British League, they retired his number after a 3-year stint.
Good for him.
So it's possible out there, kids. If you're not quite good enough to make the NHL, you can still get the upside-down jersey retirement if you just stick with it.
Or you can play men's league at 8 rinks and get absolutely destroyed by an angry and playing with out there with a Mission Cliff Ronning.
Or me.
Or Dave. Want to make a list? Huh?
We're both using base hockey sticks. I got one now. They're pretty good.
This guy wants to make the list, huh?
Yeah.
You know who's on that list?
Larry Fitzgerald, Alex Trebek, Mike Ribeiro.
Brandon Manning
and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, Bieber.
Yeah.
Back checking Bieber.
I heard he was in trouble with the law again.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
I think he's the number one suspect in the Swedish terrorist attack.
So Brandon Manning's a jerk. He slashed Hank Sedin. Bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
If it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck, it might be a duck.
I don't understand what's going
Except he's
on with that team in general. Because I was watching them play on Sunday, and I'm like, I know who a lot of these guys are. They're a decent looking club.
Philly?
But they're solidly out of the playoffs right now.
Well, that East, there's no reason to even talk about the standings because there's a 4-point differential from the leaders of some of the divisions compared to the wild card. Unless you're the Capitals, you could be out of the playoffs tomorrow.
Right.
So it really is. It doesn't behoove Montreal to do what they're planning to do. It's the worst kept secret in the league right now that they're going to sell the farm to try to get into the third round of the playoffs.
Well, they have to.
Why?
That window. She's closing.
She's closed, bud.
You think it's closed?
I don't think it's closed.
I don't think it was ever open. I don't think they were ever. They were never good enough.
They would get. Yeah, it would just be.
What are we talking about? Window. When was the last time they were in a conference final? Yaroslav Halak was their fucking goalie. I mean it. No, I'm pissed. They've never been that good.
I think it's just potential.
They're market famous. It's like why Gary Roberts and Darcy Tucker were a thing longer than they should.
I think it's also because they've had some solid regular seasons. There's potential.
They've had some solid months in regular seasons.
Remember October 15?
Yeah,
that was a good one.
They don't.
That's exactly it.
They don't fool me. I'm not convinced.
Well, then you remember when they went to the East Final when Halak got hot and Mike Camilleri became the greatest fucking hab of the past 15 years, and he put that team on his shoulder. But outside of those guys, it's just they don't have that team that Washington or Pittsburgh
They're
has.
secretly boring. They got great jerseys and a great culture, but they're the St. Louis Blues of the Eastern Conference.
Boom.
Ooh.
And I mean that. You can take that to the bank.
Well, they
I'm as sure as I'm sure that Max Pacioretty's the worst captain in Montreal Canadiens history.
Is this
he seems like he'd play for the Blues.
Michael Therrien's going to write his book now.
That's going to be a good. There was something going on in that room. The fact that they got rid of PK, they fired Therrien and hired Julian, the enemy, the next day. Something's going on there. And you think
who do you think is next out of there?
I think that Carey Price would walk. when his contract's up.
He's gonna get lit up by the Detroit Dead
Interesting.
Things, and he's gonna lean over to the general manager in the middle of the game and say, "I'm done playing in Montreal. Trade me to the Colorado Lounge." It's all
Carey, they're 65 points out of the playoffs. You heard me. Where'd that French accent come from?
Don't worry, Tabernac. I'll like Patrick Wall, lead him back, huh? No, he ain't going anywhere.
But then you think of what they're gonna like, because Claude Julien came in.
Yeah.
There's a good quote. The first thing Julien had players do at practice was defensive zone coverage.
Oh yeah, and apparently Pricey got sassy.
Yeah, nice to see the guys playing some defense once in a while. So it goes to show that there might have been a little problem with, I don't need to back check that hard. We got the best goalie in the world back there.
Mm-hmm. More like Fadulov.
He's having a great year though.
Yeah, but that's not that's not what they need.
What do they need? Alex Burrows?
They need doofuses. They're too soft. They're too easy to play against. Other than Shea Weber,
Yeah, he can't be a fighting doofus.
no. So they're soft and they're a little too old, which is going to throw people off because people go, they're young, but a lot of their core players have been
Yeah.
around for a while.
Well, who's young? Galchenyuk, Gallagher.
Gallagher's not that young.
Ish.
anymore. We're old. Like
Well,
that.
he left. He was in
He
the
is what he is, though. He's not going to be any more
early
than-
20s.
No, but he's 25. He's not going to be any
Really?
more. Yeah.
I feel old.
We are old. Dude, 2010 was a long time ago.
Yeah, some of us had a birthday.
But my point is he's not that he's old. He is what he's going to be. He's going to be a decent second line player, great third line player, character guy in the room, hurt all the time because he plays too aggressive for a guy his size. You got Galchenyuk, who's young, okay. Nathan Beaulieu, is he any good? We don't really know. But like their core guys on their team are all around 30 or older.
Oh, yeah, Patches is
Markov,
old.
Radulov is older. Patches has been around a while. Desharnais has been around a while. Like Shea Weber's 31. There was no window.
No.
It's an illusion, Michael.
A trick is what a whore does for money.
Yeah, I'm rewatching that right now. The Montreal Canadiens were never that good.
No, they would always
Never
be
that-
Cinderella,
yeah.
a Cinderella team.
So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. There's 3 teams in the Eastern Conference that can win the Stanley Cup, and they are not one of them.
Just Pittsburgh.
yeah, because Pittsburgh, Washington will have to go into regardless
Washington.
of how they rework the playoffs brackets. Washington still has to play in the second round.
Don't forget my dark horse team of destiny,
What?
the New York Islanders.
That's a good looking team.
That's my dark horse team of the playoffs.
I'm not ready to give up a dark horse team yet.
They're solid. They're very solid all the way through the lineup, that team. They're missing like 1 or 2 pieces, but it's Gar Snow, baby. Anything's possible.
They're missing a couple Canucks.
This is true.
Matty Duchesne. He'll look good in that alternate Brooklyn black jersey that everybody hates except for me. I like it.
I kind of like that jersey. It's different. It's not like offensively stupid, not like a Calgary Flames jersey.
I feel like I need to see this.
You look it up. I was talking with my dad at the game on Friday, and I'm like, we both are in agreement that the Calgary Flames jersey, like we've said on the podcast before, is the worst jersey in the National Hockey League. And the Alberta flag, the Canadian flag, it's just a what the hell are you doing?
I really hate all 3 of the Columbus Blue Jackets jerseys. So
I don't really care for that either. But
Oh yeah, I don't hate this.
that's a glowing review from Geeta. I don't hate this.
it's a woman who knows what she hates.
It looks good on Johnny.
The Carolina Hurricanes black third jersey is also god awful.
Yeah, and we saw that because we watched Austin Matthews score an amazing goal against them. And if you listen closely, you hear an audible woo when he scores and he's falling down.
I still can't wear hats. Woo!
He has a giant head.
Oh.
And if you look, there's a bit of a thing going around online where if you look at Austin Matthews wearing a hat,
Yeah.
it's like it looks like Jimbo Jones from The Simpsons, like the
Okay.
bully with the big
Yeah,
toque.
yeah.
Every hat looks huge. Like you could hand him a normal hat, and it would somehow be stretched out like an extra 3 inches. He's got a big weird head. I don't know what it is.
It's very strange. Very strange indeed.
Oh, I wanna bring this up.
Yeah.
I've had a very stressful week dealing with puck manufacturers
Okay.
back east. But if you're pledging money for on our Patreon to get a Pucks on Net puck, they are in production. So I just want to let you know that it's been a very stressful week, and I have had to send 26 emails about getting pucks printed. 26. They tried to screw me over, and they tried to print them in San Jose Sharks teal as opposed to Vancouver Grizzlies turquoise.
I told Ryan that he should just copyright San Jose Sharks teal and then
Sue them.
And charge them.
It's a good idea.
See, the Biscuit and I got into a bit of an argument about this because he was like, Ryan shouldn't worry so much. I'm like, no, he's right. Our colors are different than the Sharks, and that's and the whole point of doing the puck is to represent our brand.
Yes.
So I had
we can't be giving away our counterfeit pucks.
Yeah, you had my support on that one. I'm glad that you fought for our right to have Grizzlies turquoise.
It also puts things into real perspective. These are the most first world of problems.
I know.
I'm trying to order a bunch of novelty pucks, and they don't look right.
Oh, it's just like you think about the things you have, the stresses you have in your week last week. My stresses was horrible communication. Listen, when you need to get business cards printed, you go to Staples. If you don't like Staples, you go to FedEx. And if you don't do that, you send them off to Chinese Taipei. They come back, ink and paper, done and done. There isn't a market for custom puck printing. There's one company in Canada.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
They're not going to sponsor the show.
No, we take them down.
I don't know what they're doing I don't know what kind of assembly line they got.
Pucks on Pucks. That's our new puck manufacturing company.
That's where the
rubber hits the road.
Boom.
Pucks on Pucks, where the rubber hits the road.
And we're gonna send official game puck right out. They're gonna give them their walking papers.
So we're gonna be like, you want to put a picture of your grandkids on that? We'll put it on a puck.
Yeah.
Put it on a puck. We'll put anything on a puck.
Now I'll say this: getting 100 pucks printed.
Pucks on Pucks. Go puck yourself. That's a special today. If you get a selfie and you put it on a puck, it's the puck yourself special.
What are they gonna do with it? Play with it?
No, you can put it whatever you want.
I'm looking forward
to
a
nicely rubber framed photo. It'd be great.
I'm looking forward to the day when you come back from Burma and you go to your beer league and you have a handful of pucks on it. Pucks.
I'm gonna hang out with Jay Peterman. That's where he went when he lost his mind.
And give him a puck?
No, Elaine, that was gibberish. Yeah, I mean, I'm off in 12 days to Burma, and then I got a 10-hour stopover with the playoff bound. Now, because it all hinged on whether they made the playoffs or not, and they did, so great. But
That's excellent.
Red Star Kunlun made the playoffs their inaugural year of the KHL. They just got to 18,000 paid attendance for the season.
Oh.
For the season.
It's Chilliwack Bruins numbers right there.
Yeah, it's Abbotsford Heat numbers. God, that was Mickey Mouse. I remember working there, and they're like, you have to pay for your parking and your food. So you're essentially, if you're going all the way out there from Vancouver, you're essentially working for free.
Bring a sack lunch is what you're saying.
Yeah. I brought some tuna fish sandwiches to eat in this small booth.
A couple of hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
A Mayan egg.
You guys hungry? A Mayan egg. Oh, it's old people food.
Dave, I want to get your take on the NHL bye weeks. I don't know. I'm just curious what you think of them.
It works really well in the NFL. Guys go down to South Beach and they have hoe parties on boats.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have. That's where the Patreon
Austin
money's
Matthews
going.
and Mitch Marner, they did that too, but they were smart enough to keep the camera facing outward.
Right. Okay, but when you do it in the NHL, aren't you now just cramming more games into the
less practices? Yeah,
it's different in the NFL.
It's stupid, and most of these guys get 3 months off from not making the playoffs. So, what the hell do the Canucks need a bye week for?
I think that bye week is something you should earn. I mean, thank God the Canucks. You know who earned the bye week? Jason Megna, because he's playing like 35 minutes a night. But if you're wondering why there are so many NHL injuries in the NHL, why goal scoring is up and defense is down, it's because teams are playing the Maple Leafs are in a stretch right now where they're playing at least every other night for like something like 30.
So why don't they just extend the season and spread the games out?
I don't know. I don't know what if I know that the NHL is terrified with other sports and everything starts the way it does, but I mean if you extended it a week or two before and the season started a week or two earlier, it could really save a lot of injuries. But there is, from October 15th till August 15th, you have to cram in 82 games and 80 practices or whatever. It's just, I don't think it's going to be around after, I don't think it's going to be around next year.
Well,
the NHL.
Yeah, the NHL.
100 was just the beginning. Actually, no, it wasn't.
Well, the old World Hockey Association is on back. I'm a big fan of the Miami Screaming Eagles. Very excited about their return.
That's somebody that Colin Chaulk probably paid for.
Yep, probably the Louisiana Wombats, the Atlantic City Boardwalk Bullies.
I mean, there's going to be overlap between NHL and NASCAR, so let me just deal with it.
Yeah, but then
That's the new outdoor game. We've pitched that before, where they
Yeah.
have an outdoor game in the infield of a racetrack while an actual NASCAR race is going on.
The crowds.
All 30 teams. Gary's missing out big time. All 30 teams could sponsor a car. Think of all the turnovers from the lack of communication.
It's interfering with the radio.
It'd be amazing.
I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure the Fort Wayne Comets have played in the infield, not by choice.
Just that's all that was available
Yeah.
that day. Public skating at the one rink in town was they had it booked.
They got it. They didn't see the chalkboard. I want to talk about what's the word I'm looking for with millennials? They are it's not privileged. They have an
Entitlement?
entitlement, and that comes with noted local jerk, the pride of Port Moody, Ryan Johansson, who now plays for the Nashville Predators.
Oh, his new rap album is coming out.
What's his? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Arjo 92.
No, I kind of hope you're serious, but I think I'm like 80% sure you're kidding. Is it good?
That's not bad. It's better than Allen Iverson's record.
He was a little cheesed off that he returned. He only played I think it was 3 seasons in Columbus, and he was a little pissy.
Oh.
Yeah.
He played longer in Portland than he did in Columbus.
Well, yeah, he was holding out in Columbus too.
That's like expecting your friends to show up with a cupcake and a bottle of wine.
for your day after your birthday. He said in the media,
Wonder what Paul would have brought you if he had come.
he made a GIF. I saw him at work earlier.
No,
He's-
you don't expect these things.
Yeah, you don't expect a video tribute to the team that you played 2 years with and had a contract dispute with 2 years, on after your rookie deal.
They did one for Mike Ribeiro in Arizona, but it turned out it was just a reenactment of American Crime Story.
Mr. The assailant entered the kitchen.
But they cut it to This Used to Be My Playground by Madonna, so it seemed like a
This used to be my playground. This used to be my childhood dream.
And the fact that you're pouting after because they didn't means you deserve it even less.
Exactly.
So what did he say? He said,
Geeta, why don't you read the quote here?
I was a little disappointed they didn't put anything on the Jumbotron to say thank you or anything like that. I think we all know who made that call, but whatever.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a girl on my Super Sweet 16. Oh, cool. The banner was only that big.
they couldn't get
It's supposed to be my special day.
they couldn't get Bow Wow. They got me Aaron Carter. He was panhandling outside the hall.
I mean, whatever. I guess Aaron Carter will do. But it's shut the hell up. That's what's wrong with kids these days. They are entitled.
B44 wasn't available.
Listen,
That's because he's the bartender at the cellar.
when Sheila got fired from the podcast, and
I
she
can't tell if you're kidding.
I'm
No,
not
she-
the tall one.
yeah,
The tall bartender at the cellar is the guy from B44.
Yeah, the one that
it's not the cellar
it's
now.
not the cellar anymore, but he was the bartender at the cellar.
Yeah,
No.
and one of the
The one that didn't look like the other two, not the twin.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
and one of them, I think somebody from Soul Decision either worked at the Earls or
Oh,
No, the guy from Breaker High.
I heckled B44 at West Edmonton Mall once when they were playing there. Oh, what? A guy from Breaker High is working at Earl's?
Yeah, Max.
The big guy?
Max from Breaker High was working at the Earls, and then he was managing Coast.
Man, it's just so funny how life takes a turn. Ryan Gosling was on Breaker High, now Ryan Gosling's Ryan Gosling.
now he's
But he could
nominated for Oscars.
He could be telling Geeta and I about the specials at Dine Out.
It's a 4-course. It's a flat 40. It's a great deal.
Please call my agent. Can you help me get work?
It's a cheesecake, seasonal fruits on top.
Careful. Careful, plate's hot. Plate's hot.
It's a lighter cheesecake. It's not a heavy one. It's not going to bug you.
We shouldn't make fun.
No.
Shit happens.
It's
At least
an
they're
honor.
not addicted to meth.
Yeah, it's an honest job. You should never shit on somebody for making an honest living.
An honest living.
Question.
That's image optometry.
Not a front. Regular listener Rob Duckworth, Mr. Ducksworth, quack quack quack. Should Jim Benning consider combining the zines into one Frankenstein like superhuman being to prolong career and free up cap space? Does he have the technology? Can he do that?
What are you gonna do? Put one on the other one's shoulder?
Yeah, and then you just wear a long trench coat. I just think that they should, if in the next year and a half, they should just scrap that. They should eat up all their contract and trade him anywhere. Dave, you look a little...
I was just thinking about what the welcome back message
I'm
for
doing
them would look like.
I'm pulling a bit of a PMAC. That's so stupid that I'm not even gonna dignify
I
it with a
know.
response.
I'm like,
come on, Ducksworth, you're better than that.
that's dumb.
I'm just
dumb.
The other thing, it's dumb.
I'm gonna start talking like Donald Trump. Ducksworth, I didn't like your tweet. I found it stupid and offensive. Bad.
Yeah, we only want friendly questions.
Yeah.
Easy questions. Sorry, we only want the easy questions.
Yeah,
that
easy
was not
questions.
an easy question.
That was a fake question. Horrible.
He doesn't have the skilled hand to sew them together.
Bad.
The Colorado Avalanche. This is a sad day.
The Colorado Avalanche are now asking us questions.
Yeah. They ask, why did you ruin our lives?
If Dave's really better than Justin Bieber, can we pick him up for the last 10 games? I get that power play going.
There was a great tweet, or there's a GIF, and it's like typical Colorado Avalanche breakout, and it's 50 seconds of them trying to break out of their own end, and then going offside when they finally do. It's real bad.
I thought of something else we could do for the Patreon page. It's a bit of a ripoff of Barstool Sports.
Yeah. Oh no.
What's that?
But for like $100, somebody could come in, put some road hockey goalie gear on, and I'll take 5 shots on them and see if they get on the spreadsheet or not.
You're gonna aim at their neck, aren't they?
Well, yeah, the first couple are going to be high and tight. Spreadsheet challenge. Anybody who wants to put up $100 can go with a 5-round shootout against me. You stop 3, you win.
Who supplies the pads?
Oh, I got pads.
You got pads?
I got lots of pads.
I had some pads. I left them at our place when we moved, but that was that.
Oh, the flooded place?
All my places flood.
Yeah.
That's tradition.
I'm so paranoid now. Every morning when I wake up to go to the bathroom, I just look at the ceiling.
Ryan refuses to be rent-evicted, so they just run the taps
He
on him.
keeps a canoe beside his bed.
His bed is a canoe. Like Joey and Chandler. That's all that's left. He lost the goalie pads. That's all he's got.
That's what I used as a pillow. A couple Canuck notes. North Dakota coach fully expects Brock Boeser is going to leave for the Canucks at the end of the NCAA year.
I don't like that at all. I think that's silly.
He should graduate.
Well, what if he wins the Bean Pot or the Frozen Four? Or
No one can take his diploma away from him.
He can get it in correspondence.
I think that he should. I think that he should go to Utica if he's going to go anywhere.
You think who's gonna make that? Who's gonna call that shot?
That'd be Jimmy Ben. Would make that call. I think that's the right move. Honestly, I think he gets a chance to play. It's a level up, but it's not a big stretch.
I agree with Dave.
He'll get his confidence up, put a few goals in. Let's not Virtanen in this situation.
Show Jake a thing or two.
Jeff Carter and Mike Richards went there, and they went to the AHL, and they won a championship for the Phantoms right away. It was good for them. It was good for their development. Let's do that. Let's do the sensible thing.
Let's not say, hey, local. Well, I mean, luckily he's not the local boy from down the road that they're going to put on a pedestal saying.
Now, there's a caveat to this.
Okay.
The reason it might happen where he goes to Vancouver is because the Canucks, don't forget, they still have to sign him, and that would be the conversation. If you sign a contract, we'll get you in NHL games this season.
That's not the worst thing that happened.
It's not the worst thing.
Because if they don't sign him, he goes back in the draft?
Well, no, but it's just like if they don't sign him, I think they get another season. But it's just like a carrot. Like, hey, sign, and we'll get you to your whole life you've been dreaming of this. We'll do it next week.
And the Canucks,
we'll do it right now. You don't have to wait till winter. We'll get you in a game. You can play Phoenix tomorrow.
And
I guess it depends on what he really wants.
But that's the problem with these NCAA kids.
Yeah.
They you know what? I can just wait 2 years and then I'll go wherever I want. I'll be Jimmy Vesey or Justin Schultz. And if I'm a kid from Minnesota or wherever he's from, somewhere where it snows a lot, with a lot of lakes, why would I want to play for the Canucks? You really got to make it. You have to appeal to him.
Good sushi, bud.
Well, yeah, there's good sushi, and the beef.
We have the best chain restaurants.
We have the hottest, most unfriendly women you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good selling point.
They'll big league you hard.
And then the other selling point is you go to Kitts Beach in the summer. There's guys wearing jeans, just mean mugging. Why wouldn't you want to play here?
I don't know.
You can hang out with Tryamkin.
You can hang out with me and Bo Horvat at Barber & Co.
Your barber, your haircut buddy.
Yeah, my haircut buddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have the same stylist. Okay, this is a quick story about.
What do you do? Ask for the Horvat?
Not big enough dome, eh?
He's got a big dome, but this is gonna make you all love Bo Horvat. So my hairstylist, she actually dates a friend of mine, so I know her fairly well.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's good for business, eh? And she's like, oh no, yeah, he's really good looking. I'm like, no, like, it's good. Wait, you don't know who that is? And she's like, no. I'm like, he's like the prom king of Vancouver. He's literally the most popular person in town now that Gregor's fucking up.
Well, she didn't care because her hand kept cramping up because his head's so big.
No, and she's like, I'm like, well, what is he like? How many times has he been in? She's like, oh, he comes in all the time. I'm like, well, what did he say that he did for work? And she's like, that he moved out from back east with his girlfriend for work reasons. And I'm like,
he didn't brag?
No, bless his soul.
Oh, that's my kind of hockey player right there.
Bo Horvat for just being humble. You're the Pucks on Net dude of the week, and also your 100th point. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yay.
The official best player on the Vancouver Canucks, and humble.
Future captain, maybe as soon as next season.
I really like that.
I like it too.
Anybody keeping tabs on Jake Virtanen in Utica?
Not at all.
You know how
When's he getting his number retired upside down?
It's tough. It's tough to watch a 6th overall draft pick go to the AHL and learn how to play hockey.
Xavier Laflamme.
I think he has 9 points in 36 games. And there was a big deal on the internet because he got a primary assist this week.
What's the first?
The first one.
Yeah, it's like when it's a non-chiseler assist, as we call it.
It's tough, and things are slowly seeping in. And we're not going to say anything bad because we don't want to upset the Virtanen family again. And we're sorry for the first time, but it's clearly a lot of stuff is coming out. Exactly, a lot of stuff's coming out that he was not prepared. Wink. For training camp this year.
And he got a little tubby.
And the reports of him being at Rogers Arena every day working out with the Sedins might have just been part of a boilerplate in a press release.
Fake news.
Well, that's the thing. Anytime you say anything real about him, somebody else comes along and shuts it down.
Yeah. And he...
Fake news. Bad.
And it's just like when I watched him play in the dub, when I watched him play Brandon, we're in the playoffs.
You didn't blow your skirt up?
No, he's a guy with all the elements of a hockey player, but he is a kid that got by on being good at hockey his whole life.
Right.
And he never seemed that smart out there.
And now he's playing against people who are really good at hockey.
Apparently Sidney Crosby's really good at hockey. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah.
And
it's good again, yeah.
Well, and I did some math today, and Sidney Crosby scored 1,000 points and 400.
Sorry, this is so gross and staged, and
they're gonna get so many infections.
It's making me so uncomfortable.
To the audio listeners,
on this date, we all get staph infections.
As we wrap up the podcast, can you just describe what you just saw that grossed you out?
Basically, The Bachelor and his date of the segment were rolling around in a swamp
in poop water.
Yeah. And it's given me the heebie-jeebies. He also took his shirt off because you have to.
Yeah, no tarp.
Tarp's off. She was cute, but not I'll do you in a methane swamp cute.
So yeah, Sidney Crosby scored 1,000 points in 451 less games than Henrik Sedin.
Yeah, well, he didn't have his brother Daniel dragging him down. Daniel Crosby.
I'm starting to think now that based on the Sedin's production, I don't know if Daniel's going to get 1,000 points.
Oh yeah, he will.
He'll
get it next year. They've kind of heated up a little bit.
Yeah,
he'll get Chiseler assists.
They have to. That's just how it works. One gets it this
He'll
season,
get
the
it.
other gets
well,
it
we
the
had
next.
we had his 1,200th game over the weekend. That was the thing that we did on
Oh,
Saturday
yeah.
night. No one really cared. It's
No.
fine.
They've always grown up with their mom and dad giving them both each exactly the same things, which means Daniel will get it.
He has to get one.
And jeans.
They
shared an egg.
We'll wrap up the podcast now, and then, like we said at the beginning, there'll be 5 minutes of overtime on the Patreon page. So,
this is where we talk about you guys.
well, we can talk about whatever we want on the Patreon page or on the 5 minutes. If we have emotional problems or beef with a coworker, we can say it because it's behind a paywall. Nobody. So if you want to donate to the Patreon page, the pucks go to patreon.com/pucksonnet. The pucks are in production. Those jerks, they got me over a barrel. The t-shirts, these are not being sold publicly, So I'm kind of making up a couple designs.
Limited edition Pucks on Net / Tacoma Monster Trucks t-shirts.
I could honestly make a Tacoma. I have the logo.
Monster Trucks.
There's a good chance that these are going to be limits of one. Like there be a one print per logo.
Who are you? Who did that? What band did that?
Oh, I'm not. A lot of people do that.
No,
like,
one album, and then that Martin Scarelli guy bought it. Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah. I'm doing that.
Martin Scarelli's going to buy that t-shirt off our Patreon page.
So
and no one will ever wear it or see it.
So
you've got to charge him like $1 billion.
The only people that will see it are the Securities and Exchange Commission when they raid his house.
Well, Steven in Edmonton, longtime listener, gave us $25 a month, so he gets a shirt.
Steve.
Whoa, that's big money. Alberta's broke.
I think he's a military vet. Don't quote me on that, but
we really appreciate that.
his Twitter account is him mowing the lawn. His Twitter photo is him mowing the lawn, drinking a kokanee, wearing our goalie mask T-shirt.
Good Canadian kid.
Yeah. So head on over to patreon.com/pucksonet. Find out more about that. Email us, all that jazz, and make sure you follow us on Twitter, pucksnetca or pucksnetca. And if you could rate and review the podcast on iTunes, it'd be the greatest thing next to paying us. It's the best way to help the show. We got 2 this week. Heather Smart, 4-star review, and with the title "So Close." It would be 5 stars, but I donated to their Patreon, and the bastards didn't shout me out on their podcast like all the other schmucks. Seriously though, this podcast makes me laugh.
I'm not a monkey. Just because you throw money at me doesn't mean I'm not your private dancer.
Dance, Dave, dance.
I got a toonie. We'll toss it his way. They're clever and they cover the Canucks in
For $200, I'll wear a blazer.
They cover the Canucks in a way that makes other Vancouver fans not feel totally helpless in rooting for this frustratingly bad team.
It's fun. We would know what to do with ourselves if they're good.
I know.
It's better this way.
Yeah, it
Clears
is.
out the idiots.
Have we been podcasting when they were good?
They were good in 14-15. They made the playoffs, but
that was a weirdo season.
And the episodes weren't that good.
They won again.
And Jimbo, obviously Jim Benning, title a must. Best damn hockey podcast, period, end of story. So if you want to support the show and that's not on Patreon, then do that. And now we'll wrap up the podcast with something. We'll continue. You can keep listening on Patreon, but do you have anything clever to say to wrap up the show this week?
I hope that Jake Virtanen doesn't get his number put upside down at the Utica arena.
No, we hope it goes up right side up in Vancouver.
Just like him.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I think they might hopefully he doesn't end up working at Earl's or something. Like the Breaker High guys. Oh yeah, I'm bartending with that guy who had that nice arc on Mad Men. What would you do? I was drafted 6th overall by Vancouver.